So I hope you enjoyed the video. I want to thank the folks who were interviewed for it, and that list of founders in particular, and of course Jerry Austin in particular for having held everything together and gotten us off on such a good trajectory. So we now have the final event of the evening. This will be the Trustees Medal. We thought about this after a couple years of the physician recognition dinner and thought in 2006 that there would be room to add an additional award that's given only occasionally. The goal has been maybe once or twice a decade. And it's kind of a lifetime achievement award for a doctor who has made a particularly lasting impact on our physician community. The award is a gold medal. The first recipient of the award, as you know, was Dr. Roman DeSanctis in 2006. Tonight we will award the Trustees Medal for the second time. When I started to think about how to announce this, I thought maybe I would go back into some McGovern nomination letters from the past to steal other people's words, and we landed on one that really was a perfect description of why this physician is so deserving. Her name is the MGH synonym for unparalleled primary care. She brings to her extraordinarily fortunate patients an abundance of knowledge and experience, tempered by wisdom, humor, and a radiant humanity. It takes only a single visit for a patient to see that she wants to understand both the technical and emotional aspects of their illness, and that nothing will stop her from getting to getting for them the best medicine has to offer. She's always represented the essence of what it means to be a physician, to study and learn and dedicate yourself with passion to the pursuit of making every life you touch be as whole as it can be. She understands the needs of people at every stage of life. She knows not only how to heal, but how to comfort and bring solace to people who are beyond our ability to heal in a conventional sense. It follows naturally that she's been a prominent advocate within the MGH and the MGPO for many issues related to optimal, compassionate patient care. It also makes sense that she has chosen to dedicate a very substantial amount of her time and energy to the education of medical students in the technical and especially the intangible qualities that are part of every great physician. That's the Kate Treadway we've all come to know and respect. Deeply committed to patient care, enduring advocate, conscientious molder of the next generation of physicians dedicated to patient care. Kate went to medical school at the University of Pennsylvania, came to MGH as a medical resident, joined the staff in 1981. As Kate and I mentioned to her family members tonight, we had the same sixth grade teacher back in Evanston, Illinois. I know that our sixth grade teacher was a very formidable woman. I'd like to think she had something to do with my formative years, and I know she had something to do with Kate's. Kate is a persistent and articulate voice for the sanctity of medical professionalism and the doctor-patient bond. Sometimes to a fault, Kate can perseverate sometimes, but it's always in an altruistic way. She has been an inspirational educator in the introduction to the profession and patient doctor courses at HMS. Along the way, she's also managed to raise a family, hike and enjoy the outdoors, and have a few procedures with MGH Orthopedics. Kate, on behalf of the MGPO Board of Trustees and your fellow physicians, it's a privilege for me to give you the MGPO Trustees Medal and to ask you to the stage to make some remarks.
If you don't stop, I'm going to cry. Thank you so much, and thank you, Torch, for your kind words, including my perseveration. In fact, no one here is as astonished as I was when Torch told me that I was going to be given this extraordinary honor, precisely because in many meetings I consider myself a royal pain. I am obviously extraordinarily honored to receive the Trustees Medal, especially following Dr. DeSanctis. I mean, really, how wonderful is that? My husband remembers me talking about Roman with utter awe 35 years ago. But I'm also thrilled because I unabashedly love the MGH. I knew I had come to the right place when early in my internship, the hotline published the results of a survey that had asked people to name the best institutions in Boston. MGH was the only hospital on the list. And no, it was not number 1, it was number 2, second only to the Hilltop Steakhouse. Like many academic medical centers, MGH is committed to world-class research, exploring the frontiers of medicine, changing our understanding of disease and our ability to treat it. It is committed to educating our future physicians and leaders, and it is also committed to patient care, excellent, personalized, responsible, and compassionate care. What has been so clear is that patient care is not an afterthought here. It is the heart of what we do, and thus the hospital has made room for and supported the wonderful diversity of physicians at this hospital, those who are at the bench and those who are at the bedside, and every combination in between. We all feel respected for what we do and for what we contribute, and that is a rare thing. So it has been my very great privilege to work in this extraordinary hospital with its amazing breadth of interest and accomplishments. So here are a few of the things I value about MGH. First, the contribution of all our employees is recognized and valued because each services a critical function in allowing us to provide the best possible care to our patients. At Ether Day, when I had been here a mere 20 years, our beloved Jim Mongan, who had been at MGH at that point only a few years, commented that he had never seen an institution in which so many employees at every level were here for so long, commenting on an environmental services worker who was receiving his 40-year PIN. And to give you an example of the employee commitment of this institution, just recently, as I was waiting for my car, since I now valet park due to my orthopedic challenge, I was talking to one of the young men who is currently an ambassador, and he is 25 years old. And I asked him how long he'd been working at MGH, and he said with quite a bit of pride, in November it will be 2 years, but I plan on being an MGH lifer. And I said, me too. Secondly, all patients, no matter who they are valued and respected. One of my favorite MGH stories is an incident that our former trustee, Jane Claflin, observed at the white front desk. A disheveled man was speaking to the person at the white front desk, and it was clear from the conversation that the man was homeless. He was trying to find his friend Bob, who had been brought into the emergency room the night before, critically ill. He wanted to know where Bob was and if he was okay. Unfortunately, he didn't know Bob's last name. So the man at the front desk was working with the emergency room to try to figure out which Bob might be this man's friend. Behind the homeless man was a very well-dressed man, clearly becoming impatient with the process, and he finally barged to the front and asked to be helped. The man behind the front desk very politely said, "I will be more than happy to help you, sir, just as soon as I finish helping the gentleman in front of you." The MGPO and the MGH support numerous programs that serve the most vulnerable, our health centers, Jim O'Connell and his Healthcare for the Homeless, Joe Betancourt and the Disparities Solution Center, just to name a few. MGH was recently awarded the American Hospital Association's Equity of Care Award for leadership in providing a quality of care and reducing disparities. We obviously have a remarkable collection of scientists who are trying to better the world through phenomenal basic and clinical research. Their excitement and enthusiasm permeate our institution, and the crosstalk enriches us all, helping us understand new approaches to treatment that make us better clinicians. The MGPO has been an innovator in process improvement with programs such as ROE and PROE, which are designed to improve patient care by attention to evidence-based medicine, while at the same time eliminating some of that administrative burden, probably better than the MGH Manhattan. And of course, there is the wonderful Medicare demonstration project, which has helped all of us provide better care at lower cost and saving time. But of course, most importantly for me, what is always there beneath everything we do as the deep, steady heartbeat of the MGH is the profound commitment to our patients and the recognition that truly great medical care does not rest on treatment of the disease alone, but on the care and attention to the person who has the disease. It is such an old notion, but one that in the hustle and bustle of our modern medical practice can easily become lost. Etched into the wall on the main corridor of the White Building is the phrase we all know so well by Francis Weld Peabody. One of the essential qualities of the clinician is interest in humanity, for the secret of the care of the patient is in caring for the patient. One could dismiss this as a mere platitude until you watch doctors here in action. I learned what it meant to be an excellent clinician while also caring deeply for patients and being able to show that caring from the giants of my internship era. Roman DeSanctis, of course, Bob Shapiro, Les Ottinger, Alex Althausen, to name just a few of the many physicians who inspired me, as well, of course, as the amazing and wonderful interns and residents with whom I trained. Dr. Peabody's quote continues to be a touchstone for how we organize and support our mission of providing the best possible care to our patients, as so beautifully exemplified by the life of Dr. Brian McGovern and all the McGovern Award winners, who I would like to especially congratulate tonight's winners, as you are all extraordinary clinicians. It has been such a privilege for me to care for patients in this environment, to be able to enter my patients' lives and to make profound connections. I have been moved over and over by the grace and courage of patients and families as they face the challenge of illness. As a general internist, I've had the extraordinary experience of caring for patients over the course of their lives, sharing the births of children, the deaths of parents and spouses, and often bearing witness to their own deaths. I have had the wonderful experience of caring for multiple generations, and currently I care for the great-granddaughter of one of my first patients as an intern. I have loved being able to save a life, to heal, to care for chronic illness, and to solve perplexing clinical problems, to try to make the lives of my patients as healthy as possible, and to offer comfort and caring when that is all there is left to offer. And of course, being able to do this with the amazing support and wise counsel of my colleagues. On a much more personal note, MGH has given me something perhaps even more precious to me than the gift of a fulfilling career, and that is the gift of my husband, because MGH has saved his life, and I mean that without hyperbole, truly saved his life, not once, not twice, but 3 times. The skill and kindness with which he was treated was simply unparalleled. And I could not give this talk without a profound expression of gratitude to my family. They have supported me. They have accepted the late nights, the missed games, the midnight phone calls with grace. When I would call home to say I would be late and that I thought that maybe I would be able to leave the hospital in about an hour, my husband would say, "Is that doctor time or real time?" I think all of our families sacrifice a great deal for us and deserve our utmost gratitude, because while we are busy working late at the hospital, we are deriving the reward that patient care brings, a reward that our families are not getting in our absence. Early in medical school, I was taught the following quote, which I'm sure most of you know: "The role of a physician is to cure sometimes, to heal often, to comfort always." I know institutions do not have souls, but I have always felt that the MGH has one, that it is a living embodiment of those words, and that this is not just about doctors, but includes the extraordinary nurses, social workers, therapists of all kinds, and the amazing support staff that makes it all possible. I am indebted to the people of the MGH for living those lines. They have been my teachers and my guides, and their examples have allowed me to be the kind of doctor I dreamed of being when I first started on this path so many years ago. So I want to thank you all, because I am what I am because of all that you are. Thank you.
Thanks, Kate, and congratulations. So we're done with the formal program. I want to state a few thanks. The MGPO staff that worked on tonight's event were, as always, led by Deborah Colton, who does an amazing job. And this year she got help from Jenna Berube, Shayna Drew, probably didn't pronounce that right, Linda McKenzie, Sherwood Hughes, Sandy Deeden, and Sarah Lynn. So let's thank all of them. Appreciate the work of the McGovern Committee. John Herman chaired it, and appreciate the great work of Stephen Rourke, who gave us another memorable video. So the band is going to come back on. Enjoy your colleagues. Next dinner will be spring of 2016. Thank you all.